All right, well, let's take a look today at some triangles as you saw in the video. So we already know how to classify or name angles. We know an angle less than 90 degrees is acute. An angle that is 90 degrees is a right angle. And an angle that's more than 90 degrees is an obtuse angle. And so as we look at triangles, we're going to find the same thing. If we have a triangle that has an obtuse angle, we call it an obtuse triangle. If we have a triangle that has a right angle, we call it a right triangle. If we have a triangle that has all acute angles, then we call it an acute triangle. Now, that's measuring triangles or naming triangles by their angles, but you can also name them by their sides. So you just saw in the video, an equilateral triangle has three sides that are equal. And you're going to notice as we do this today that the sides that are equal are usually marked with a little hash on them like that, a little line on them. So if all three sides were equal, it would be an equilateral triangle. If you have two sides, like this one right here, that are equal, it's an isosceles triangle. And if none of the sides are equal, it would be a scalene triangle. So let's practice these today, and then I'll let you do some on your own. You're going to be classifying triangles today and tomorrow, so get you 2 days of practice on this. So we're supposed to, number one, classify the triangle below using the side lengths and the angles. So the side lengths, we have two sides that are the same length. Let's just go ahead and put this right here. 3, 2, 1. So we have two that are the same length. So that is an isosceles triangle. Spelled funny, isn't it? And then we look at the angles, and I see this angle right here. That's a big obtuse angle, isn't it, right here? So this is an isosceles obtuse triangle. Don't tell your parents that. Maybe they might think you said a bad word. No, I'm just kidding. Isosceles obtuse triangle. Now, let's move on to the next one. We're going to look at lots of triangles today and decide what they are. So this one right here. Oh, I see three marks that are equal sides. So what is a triangle with three equal sides called? It's equilateral. An equilateral triangle. And the angles, that's acute, that's acute, that's acute. It's an equilateral acute triangle. Okay, let's look at this one. Well, I don't see any sides that are the same length. Do you? They don't have any of the little marks on them like that one did. So if they don't have any sides the same length, we call that scalene. And I see one right angle. So this is a scalene right triangle. Okay, let's look at this one. None of the sides are the same length, so it is, again, scalene. And this time I see an obtuse angle. So this time it's a scalene obtuse triangle. So you just got to get familiar with these terms. You might want to jot them down on some notebook paper or something as you do your assignment so you have them to look at. You might want to pause the video now and write all of these down so that you know what words to use on your assignment today. All right, we've got to do one more little page here, just go a little bit deeper thinking about the shapes of these triangles. And so let's look at some lines of symmetry and we'll see what that tells us about the angles. So triangle ABC has one line of symmetry as shown. What does this tell you about the measure of angles A and C? Well, if we folded this over across the line of symmetry, then A and C would have to match, wouldn't they? So angle A would have to be equal to angle C. Angle A and angle C would have to be equal if that's the line of symmetry, because we would fold it across there, and it's supposed to be a mirror image, so they should be exactly the same measure. Look at this one. Triangle DEF has 3 lines of symmetry. What kind of triangle is this? Well, I see it's 3 equal sides. So this is an equilateral. That's not what it's asking us. I'm just helping me think. And I see acute. So it's an equilateral acute triangle. And it has 3 lines of symmetry. How can the lines of symmetry help you figure out which angles are equal? Well, how would you say that? I would say that when you fold it across the line of symmetry, the angles that touch must be equal. So if I fold it across this line, then D and F have to be equal. If I fold it across this line, then D and E have to be equal. If I fold it across this line, then E and F have to be equal. That's how I would say that. The angles, when you fold a triangle across the line of symmetry, the angles that touch must be equal. We've got one more little question here. Triangle DEF has a perimeter of 30 centimeters. So all the way around this triangle is 30 centimeters. How many centimeters long are the side lengths? Well, how many sides are there? There's 3 sides. And if we add the length of all the sides up, we get 30 centimeters. So how would we find out how much one side is? We would take 30 divided by 3. And of course, that's 10. So each side would be 10 centimeters because it's an equilateral triangle. Okay, so the side lengths are 10 centimeters. All right, well, I want you to go do our assignment today. And you're mainly just on the assignment today going to be classifying the triangles as scalene, obtuse, isosceles, right? That'll be the major portion of your assignment today. So take those notes, take these right here, and go classify those triangles. Have fun.